enforcement across the state is very short of law enforcement officers. So we just happen to be probably along with Seattle PD at the people at the top of that pile. I'm about 250. That number fluctuates with retirements that roll in on a regular basis. And I was talking to Chief Diaz the other day and this morning about his situation. So we're both competing for that small pot of people out there that we each want to hire. And this is a national problem. This is not just a problem here in our state. In dealing with my colleagues at state and provincial through the International Association of Chiefs of Police, we're all struggling for bodies. So I couldn't be happier when the legislative folks on both sides of the aisle said, we want to help you with that. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're talking about the things that are going to be helpful, including lateral capabilities. We can hire folks from other agencies, not only within state, but out of state. And I am very short on communications officers, dispatchers as well. In fact, I had to unfortunately close down 2 centers here recently. Wenatchee being one of my favorite sites. I was a lieutenant in Wenatchee. I lived in Wenatchee with my family as a lieutenant. So it's very, very personal to me. But I could not hire enough people in Wenatchee because of the cost of living that has taken place in that community. It has skyrocketed. It's been rising since I was there back in '91, but it's at a point in time now where dispatchers are paid at a rate where they cannot afford to live in terms of buying or renting even in that valley. So unfortunately we had to shut the center down and push those those dispatch responsibilities out to other centers. It's working, but it's not ideal, but we're making it work. The important thing is to not drop any level of service to the community or to the troopers who are on the other end of the line. So I really appreciate the work my centers in Spokane, Yakima, and Marysville have been doing to help with that situation. Now, as of late, because of the same reason, I've had to shut down my Bellevue Communications Center, which dispatches troopers for King County. Again, shortage of staff and also the cost of living of having to drive into Bellevue on a daily basis. So they have to live great distances, and it's just not a good matchup for them. So we're having to shut that down, and they're being dispatched out of Tacoma. My hope is that that's temporary. We're trying to hire folks as fast as we can to refill the vacancies in Bellevue. Wenatchee, I'm not as hopeful. That's how desperate we are. Also, my partner, Lowell Porter, who runs the dispatch center for the county and the city over there, he's struggling as well in Wenatchee with hiring needs. So that one is pretty desperate. We have a need for commercial vehicle enforcement officers, so if you know someone who wants to work in that field, we're looking for folks. I talked to the bureau chief over that responsibility today, and we're trying to reach out and let as many folks within the community know that if you want to work amongst a great group of people who are responsible for dealing with big rigs and helping keep our infrastructure intact because of the pounding that it takes from the big rigs. So we protect infrastructure, and we want to make sure that the rigs, equipment-wise, is safe, and that the drivers are legal. So great job opportunity. If you know folks out there who are interested, if you put the word out, I would greatly appreciate it. Crime Lab is no different. We're trying to hold on to folks within our Tox Lab and our Crime Lab. I'm very happy with the support I'm receiving on the Hill about the needs to improve our ability to tackle our backlogs. We have a backlog when it comes to our VAC industry. So the legislature and the governor's office aided us with helping us put an office down in Federal Way. So that will be opening up sometime at the end of this month, in March or so. And then the backlog we've been experiencing now for an extended period of time, we'll start to eat away at that. We've got staff that we've already hired that will be completing their training, and then we're looking to hire 7 additional bodies to put on the bench. So we see improvements ahead, and hopefully by the middle towards the end of 2024, we'll have eaten into that backlog. Our responsibility for our processing sexual assault kits within 45 days, I'm pleased to say that we're doing a great job at that. we're down to about 98% compliance with that. Some of the more technical, real difficult ones are the only ones that we're struggling with, but we're doing a great job with that. So I greatly appreciate the work of the folks within the lab. And then a host of other things that we're confronted with in terms of waiting to see the outcome of certain bills and things up here. My big job right now is ensuring that I keep my trooper spirits up. With them being so short-handed and anxious for somebody to come and work alongside them, I need to ensure that I do everything I can to make sure they know that they're loved and appreciated. And they are. And so the stories that you write about the good things that they're doing, they love reading about it. So I appreciate that very much. They're doing a great job, and they have been in working our way through the pandemic. As you all know, we lost Justin Schaefer during the middle of the pandemic. And we had a trooper that we lost to the pandemic himself, and then one who left and also came down with COVID and died. Just as beloved. So troops have been through a lot. The agency in and of itself, just like society as a whole, has undergone a great deal of strain and stress over the course of the last 3 years. But we have good people. You need to know you have good people working for you to keep you safe and sound, and the rest of the folks outside of these four walls. So I cannot thank and appreciate them enough. I can talk all day, you know that. Every time I come in here, I love engaging with you, but the important thing for me is taking your questions. So unless Chris has anything else that he wants to talk about, I'm going to open it up to Q&A.